So this comment is from Threads, and as you know, these multiple perpetrator stalkers are tethered, and they're a part of a surveillance abuses-based Ponzi algorithm and conversational circuit. So when you are targeted, you are brought into that surveillance abuses network known as the Matrix, and your algorithm is adjusted accordingly. So you receive all of the chatter from the people trapped in this cloud as well, okay? A lot of them are under illusions and delusions. Some of them are devil worshippers or Satanists, so they've been tethered for a really long time. And this is a part of the whole Epstein saga and his research endeavors and his occultism and his obsession with astrology and physics, okay? And that has to do with neural and biosurveillance, and then the games that they like to play of being gods in people's lives through persistent and consistent surveillance. Okay? Are you keeping up here? So this one is talking about these people being under the delusion that they are Satanists and devil worshippers and talking to spirits and whatever. But it's really just Oz. When you pull back the curtain, you see the guy tinkering around with his machine, booping and bopping. So they really pray to men and women that are higher up in their Ponzi, who have access to the surveillance technology that gaslights them. So these people have been severely conditioned and placed under MK Ultra, okay? Various mind control programs and things that we have been researching and organizing and orchestrating for a really long time. Military and the surveillance or intelligence community, corporations and other people, right? Especially the military, because I mean, you know, you gotta prime people to kill in some way, so it's not a surprise that these types of belief systems or ideologies would be mucking around. But I also think that it gives Satanism a bad name, because not everybody is out there really taking it literally in wanting to sacrifice people and bloodlet and feeding you to the devil and all this type of stupid shit. Some of them truly just really like the self-worshipping aspect of it, believing yourself to be, you know, important and godly and in power and elevating the ego and the I, right? So it gives witchcraft, witches, Satanism a bad name to involve this criminal organization amongst their subcultures and belief systems when not everybody in it is a massive nutter, okay? So this one is talking about there's someone who you used to consider a friend before you realize they're a devil worshiper. So in my targeting cycle that the rest of these multiple perpetrator stalkers are talking about, that would be Rachel Beswick, Sylvain Desario. They recruited my niece, Callie Marshall. They recruited my cousin, or play cousin, right? She grew up with us, but she wasn't adopted. She went back to her country, came back, and was able to get naturalized or whatever. So that would be Arlene Ash. They recruited my child's father, who is a Satanist or devil worshiper. I guess that's the narrative. His name is Mac Barnes Hopkins. He used to work at the Department of Defense. He was a Marine. He worked at the cyber department in the Department of Defense. That's where a lot of these guys are being recruited. And he has the military background, and this is something that they often recruit vets for, because, you know, what else are you going to do with their skills if they're not off fighting or working consistently? It's easy money, and they get to be a part of this surveillance role-playing program, and they go around doing things that they've already learned in the military and using them in urban environments, right? So they engage in covert urban warfare using their military tactics that they've learned. So this one is talking about before you realize they were a devil worshiper, this person bows down to Baphomet. They literally tried to sell your soul so they can gain fame and fortune. This person has serious health issues and should have been out of this world by now, but they are cheating, using the devil and sacrificing others to gain more life force. God showed you everything they did and were planning on doing to you in this spiritual and physical. So anyways, they're not really sacrificing people. I mean, they do kill people, so they eventually covertly push them to suicide, or they're able to orchestrate calamities that will take someone's life, right? Or, you know, psychosomatically, they die from sickness and from the stress eating them from the inside out. But, I mean, their sacrifice is the neural and biosurveillance. Their sacrifice starts out with consistent and persistent surveillance. It's the surveillance that allows them to engage in unseen manipulation, which they then call witchcraft or magic, or part of their sacrifice, or part of the woo. But this is all facilitated and made viable through surveillance abuse. Okay? And part of that sacrifice is that they are surveillancing you through neural and biosurveillance, through the brain-machine interface. So they're able to exploit your identity down to the cellular communication. And they consider that to be a sacrifice, right? Because somebody is going to then syndicate you, commercialize you, exploit you, make money off of you, and suppress you so that you don't receive that money. And they have a whole underground system in the metaverse and the dark web where this surveillance is made available to members of their Ponzi or their community or their network. So that's another aspect of the sacrificing. It's the overall exploitation and loss of autonomy and agency, and their attempt to take your free will through their covert manipulation and warfare. Okay, so that's what they're talking about when they say sacrifice. It's just organized crime. These people sacrifice you to an organized crime ring, persistent and consistent surveillance abuses, neural and biosurveillance, and exploiting your identity. Okay, so that's what they're doing. And the people that she's talking about, I've already mentioned. I already have all of the evidence on my timeline here of them exploiting not only my identity, but their identity. And when they're talking about taking people's their life force, that's because when you're targeted, you're placed under bio and neural surveillance, okay? And that's how they do all their energy harvesting and their bullshit. It's because you're literally bioengineered as a node, a human node, into their network and their grid. And they can do the energy harvesting through the nodes, the human nodes, sharing stress among each other, sharing health. Okay, this is all molecular communication within this grid. And that is a part of a neural surveillance, or the bio-digital convergence. These people aren't literally like sucking life force. They're doing it by falsely reporting you into this surveillance program so that you could be a node on their grid. And then they can do medical telemetry, because all of this grid is actually a part of the metaverse and supposed to be used legitimately for telehealth and extended VR, AR, XR. Okay? So that's what's going on.